Hey guys, so welcome back to another midweek faith vlog. And last week I had a request from a lovely viewer wanted me to talk about the single life. Girl, no be small thing, no. This topic is such a hot topic that I didn't even know how to put a video together for this. But I thought it's a very important topic that needs to be spoken about, and I've seen many different videos from Christian vloggers that kind of like speak about their experience and the realities that being single really isn't easy. But then again, on the flip side, being married isn't easy either. Life isn't easy. We kind of just have to find a way to kind of cope with these circumstances and seasons that we find ourselves in. But girl, I want to share my experience so far. It's been about 3 years now, and it's the first time in my life where I've actually said, you know what, God, I'm done with all these randoms, as we may call it, basically men that you know that you have no business being around because you know that they're not marriage material or they're not God's best for you. And obviously before, I was involving myself in relationships where it wasn't really going anywhere, and I was trying to like force it, even though I know that God didn't want me to be in those relationships and I wasn't at peace with them. So it's the first time I just said I'm gonna be single and celibate and just be alone and just dedicate my life to Christ. And when you've been doing something habitually for years, it's kind of hard to break out of it. So there's still kind of fragments in me that part of that old behavior is there, but God is still working on me, which I'm grateful for. And He's really been long suffering for me and just patient. So I'm just thankful to God for that. So, first of all, I think one of the challenges sometimes can just be loneliness, and the fact that even though like God is all we need, like sometimes we or I don't spend as much time with Him as I need to, and then I try and look for void fillers. Now, I've always been the kind of person that has liked having male friends in my life just because, I don't know, I guess some people describe me, because I'm so straightforward and blunt, some people describe it as a masculine trait. So I get along well with men, and I do love my ladies too, but I just really enjoy the company. And I think it also links to the fact that when I was younger, it was just me and my brother, and I always had my brother by my side. So all those things linked together. And I just find that like because of the fact that I have male friends and I enjoy their company, I can be a bit naive and not really, or just gloss over the fact that they like me. And I recently was in a situation where I just took him as a brother. I thought, okay, we're both Christians, let's hang out, let's do lunch, let's go to church together. And later on, he revealed that he liked me. And I just looked at myself and thought, why did you like hang out with him? But I wasn't hanging out with him to be with him. I just took him as a brother. So one of the things I'll say is just be careful with like your male friends, because there's this debate that males and females can't ever be friends because one will probably have liked the other in the past or currently, and hoping that something will happen between you guys. I think it's kind of true. You just have to really be careful with your interactions with the other sex, because when I first became single, I was like so sensitive to like men around me. Sensitive to it because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to like living for Christ and giving like my single life to Christ. So I just felt like it had to be that attraction. It was really weird at first. So yeah, just be careful with your like interactions with like your male friends or male colleagues or whatever, because the enemy is just like prowling around and looking for a chance to devour you. And we just have to really be immersed in the word so that we remember who we are and what God is working on us for. Sometimes I found myself talking to like the opposite sex just because like I feel a bit lonely, or I just feel like, oh, I feel discouraged with this single life, so let me just talk to this male. And knowing full well that God doesn't really want me talking to him, knowing full well that he likes me and all that, so let me just get like a pseudo kind of relationship, like emotional support kind of thing going on. But it's not what God wants you to do, so it's just best for me to just, and if you're going through that too, I think it's best to just break those kind of friendships or whatever they are, and just prepare your heart for the person that God has for you, because though it is a long road, sometimes people wait years and they get married and things like that, but you have to be prepared for it. And what we need to remember is that God is working on us in every season of our lives, so we kind of have to just let the pruning process be and just accept that, you know what, even if I don't, because we're not following Jesus for a husband, we're following him because we love, worship him, and we know it's the only way for us, and it's the only truth, and he's the only life. So we shouldn't really be like aspiring for husband shouldn't be at the forefront of our agenda, because there's more to life than that. So just like cut off emotional ties with the opposite sex, and just try to be as close to Christ as possible. Remember that he is our husband, he's our first husband and our only like eternal husband. So we have to allow ourselves to become wives, and that's how he will prepare us to become wives. And please remember that it's not every woman in this world that's going to get married. Some people's purpose isn't marriage, and please remember that God doesn't owe you marriage. So if you're serving him for a husband, then you need to rethink your reasons and really pray that God like just gives you the desires gives you your heart's desires to serve him wholly, and not because you want a husband. And at the beginning of this year, let me tell you, and let me show you a text message that I had to send to someone. I really, really liked this guy, right? But I just wasn't at peace with it. We liked each other. We wanted to be in a relationship, but I just wasn't at peace with it. And God was just like, no, 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 Rosemary, no, 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 no. This is not the guy for you. So I had to send him this text message and basically tell him that I just can't do it. And it hurt for months afterwards. Like, I was just so gutted. I was just like, but I really liked him, God. But I really liked him. But you will realize that you will save yourself a lot of stress for the future if you just listen and be obedient and patient. It's difficult, ladies. Trust me, I'm going through it too, you know. It's not easy being a young woman, and you want that kind of, because we are created with a desire to marry. And there was a point in my single life where I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like independent. I'm enjoying my single life. I don't have to answer to anyone. Girl, I can do my nails when I want. I can do my hair when I want. I can be into fashion. I don't have to answer to anyone. Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm cool. That kind of thing. But after a while, it just became like a season of like, okay, I actually do want to one day get married, and I don't want, because of past hurt, to kind of like turn it down or kind of block it off. Let me be open to it. And I've had some lovely people that God has sent in my life reminding me that I should be open to marriage and open to what God has for me, and don't close yourself off from it because you think that it's a waste of time or you think it's whatever. Just be open and just put your trust in God, and don't make it everything, but remember that it might just be something that, well, it will happen one day. I'll pray in Jesus' name that it will happen. But I don't know really what to say, because the reason why I didn't really want to do a video about it is because I struggle with it, so I don't want to discourage anyone. But I think that being transparent will help people with you just have to be really careful, especially if you have like daddy issues, or if you haven't really seen that male example in your life. You really have to hold on to God and learn God's heart and God's love and his faithfulness, and then you will see the kind of qualities in a male that you would want to marry, because you want the guy to lead you. The guy can't be of the world and you're into Christ. He has to lead you, and like it has to be where he's leading you and you're his helpmeet, and you guys just work well together. You just can't afford to get with someone because of like cultural pressures, family pressures to get married at a certain age. I'm 26 now. I'm going on 27. In a few months, I'm going to be 27. But I'm not tripping off of that, because if God is saying don't get married yet, or I haven't, you know, you're not ready, then I'm not ready. But there's certain pressures culturally Like I'm Nigerian originally, and there's sometimes a lot of pressure on people to get married, and they end up marrying the wrong person. And I've seen it around me in the older generation, and sometimes currently, people just, they settle because of the fact that they desire, or they couldn't wait, or they weren't close to God, or they didn't know what God wanted for them. And just don't be jealous of other people that you see getting married on social media, because some people are just settling. And even if they're not settling and God is God's best for them, want what you want for yourself, not because someone else is doing it. Just enjoy and embrace this free time that you have to enjoy yourself, go on holidays, start a business. Just do you and learn you, so that when you get married, you can't say, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Let's not obsess over finding, the right man or this and that, because even though I haven't been married before, I know that it's hard work. I know that it's sacrifice, it's dying to self. It's not about you. Like the world's relationships, it seems like love is about what the person can do for you. But I think marriage is a lot about serving, and a lot about like sacrifice and dying to self. I'm still learning in my faith to die to self, to die to flesh. And it's like ups and downs in my single walk. It hasn't been easy. Actually, it's been like a roller coaster. And I'm thankful to God because He never gives up on me. He's so long suffering for me and just loves me and loves you so much. So I hope that I've encouraged you somewhat by sharing a snippet of kind of how it feels to be single, and in a world where you see couples all over the place and people don't want to wait till marriage to have sex. They want to have sex outside of marriage. They want to convince you that it's okay with protection and all that, but it won't protect you from soul ties and spiritual ties, and it just won't. Like, I've been there before, and if you just don't want to go there. So just trust God. That's what I'll end with. Like, trust God and know that He has your back, and just be patient. It's difficult. I know, lovely. I know, but God is so faithful, man. He's so faithful. We just have to learn to just say, okay, God, if this is what you want, then fine, I'm with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know. And yeah, just embrace it. Bye. We lift up all praise.